All right. Welcome, Steeler Nation, Steeler Faithful, my Steeler family. Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, SimFBallCritic, the abbreviation, Sim, as they call me. Whatever floats your boat. Welcome, guys. Thanks for tuning in, man. And we are live from the Steel Basement, ready to get into another Terrible Towel Tuesday. And honestly, we'll see how long this one goes, man. Didn't have as much time to recap. I rewatched the game, definitely rewatched the game, but I just started the All-22. I'm starting with run plays first. That is my emphasis for this particular week. I'm starting with that first. I'll get through that, and then I'll start looking at everything else. I definitely want to look at the way we defended the pass and run. I watched some of it. Again, I watched some of it, even just on the rewatch of the game. But I want to see from a schematic standpoint, from a personnel standpoint, what exactly we did to kind of bolster that defense. Absolutely great performance there by both the defense and the offense. But let's say hello to the early commenters first and foremost, man. Let's say what's up and what's happening too. Bebop is in the building. My man Mark Cunningham is in the building. Coach Sim. Yeah, and that's why I'm running late, man. And bear with me, guys. We have literally 4 more weeks. We have this week and then 3 weeks after that of games. We expect to make the playoffs. My son's team is 2-2 right now. No exaggeration, we should be 3-1. This last game we played on Saturday, that game, they beat us. You know, they outright beat us. That's the toughest team that we're going to face, this season. And the reason why, we didn't really get it done is, we killed the entire first quarter. We were in it and we expected it. Me and the other coaches, we expected that this could be a loss. And then when they scored, man, it's like our team, that's the thing with youth. 12-year-olds, these guys kind of just, you know what I mean? 11 and 12-year-olds, they kind of just folded, man, after the other team went up. But such is life, man, but they'll be okay. But outside of that, guys, let's get back to introducing the early viewers. Kev So Fun is in the building. Crazy Ron Gaming in the building. Will I Am is in the building. Hello, Lanisha. The lovely Lanisha is in the building. Make sure, fellas, you say hello to our lovely Steeler Nation ladies. Treat them with care and roll out that red carpet. Make sure you say hello to them. Who else is up in here? My man CT Pittman is in the building. Mr. Winningham is in the building. Hello, sir. Always good to see and hear from you. We always appreciate your presence. Who else we got up in here, man? Jared Devil is in the building. Leonard Green in the building. Steeler Cards in the building. My boy Kenyon in the building. My good Aries brother right there. My guy's in the building. Anybody else? Jermaine White in the building. And I think that's all we got for now. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Charles Jackson in the building as well. What's up, brother? And we will end it right about there. And we'll go ahead and get to business. So, we do not have a press conference from Mike Tomlin today. Obviously, the Steelers are on the bye week. Speaking of which, I'm thinking about, Kenyon, if you're available, maybe a steel table, perhaps next week. Maybe we could do that. We probably should have did it tonight if I would have thought quick and fast enough. But maybe next week we could do a steel table, man, and kind of, give our thoughts as far as where the team is currently. As they head into this bye 3-1, and then, as they come out of it 3-1, we'll kind of talk about looking forward to the upcoming game. But maybe we'll do that. Let's see, where do I want to take it first? So like I said, there was no conference or anything from Mike Tomlin. So what I want to double check really quick, guys, hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. I'm just going to look up something really quick. I want to look up something really quick, guys, just to make sure I don't miss anything before I dive into it. Hold on. Okay, so I don't see what I was looking for. So I'll go ahead and continue with basically talking about a few things before I kind of recap the game. A couple things I wanted to highlight. Listen, there's an office visit that I'm gonna have tonight. And I'll do it maybe a little bit later. Let me see how many of you guys are watching. Hold on, let me see what type of crowd we got, because you guys seem to enjoy the office visits. We have about 36 people in, but I'm gonna hold it for a minute. But I will have an office visit. Definitely will have an office visit tonight about one particular player. We have learned that some transactional news, man, and I don't know how big or small this is for some of you, but safety Sebastian Castro was, poached off of the Steelers practice squad by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like I said, I don't know if any of you guys really care about that, but I do, because again, anytime you can grab some of these guys that are more your more well-known or, bigger undrafted free agent, if you will, I always like the Steelers to possibly keep those guys, because you just never know when they can pay off. Again, nobody is going to always be these guys, but, you think about guys like a Mike Hilton. You think about guys like Jaylen Warren. Hey, you think about guys like James Harrison. You know what I mean? And as Steelers, legacy, it's like some of these guys have turned into be something. And I was, especially with the Steelers, trying to continue to bolster that safety depth and just the safety position. I was hoping a kid like that could hide out on the practice squad. Unfortunately, he's not. So the Steelers will actually have to go looking for a safety at some point, maybe in the next upcoming draft. Because again, it's not about what Deshaun Elliott is or isn't doing. It's not necessarily about what Juan Thornhill is or isn't doing. It is about, however, the fact that, one or two of those guys need to have their replacement in waiting and ready to play. Love Deshaun Elliott. So right now, Deshaun Elliott is absolutely the best or my favorite safety on the team. And Juan Thornhill has been doing a couple things here and there. Juan Thornhill has made some plays, so I'm liking what we're getting out of those two guys. But again, these guys you wouldn't expect to be your long-term solution. Thornhill, again, both of these guys are getting a little bit older, right? I want to say Thornhill is closer to 30. Let me check that really quick, guys. I want to, have my facts together. Let me see which one of those guys are the oldest. They might be right about the same age. Hold on. Deshaun Elliott is Deshaun Elliott is how old? Looks like they have him listed as he's 28 years of age. 28. So it's not too bad. He'll be 30 in 2 years. Okay. Not too bad. And who was the other kid I said? How did I forget his name just that fast? Deshaun Elliott and Juan Thornhill. Thornhill might be a little older. Now that I think about it, Thornhill might be just a smidget older than that. He is 29. Okay. So again, both of these guys are older. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta start to think about the next 2 to 3 years, and you should have a guy already waiting to go that has been in the system, maybe has played a little bit, and ready to go when these guys' contracts are up. Because again, the business of football is not to continue to sign older gentlemen. So both of these guys, from looking at it, well, I don't know about Thornhill. I can't remember his contract, but we did extend Deshaun Elliott, so you would expect him to still be with the Steelers at the age of 30. But like I said, once you start getting north of that, then you should be looking for a new safety. So anyway, I say all of that to say, man, it sucks that we lose a guy like Sebastian Castro, but hopefully, the Steelers will be able to rebound and find somebody else that they can groom. Another little thing I wanted to talk about. Here's a question some people are asking, and I want to pose it to the chat. I'm seeing it, guys. I'm seeing people say, some of y'all know where I'm about to go. Some of y'all might not. But as soon as I say it, y'all going to say, yeah. I'm seeing people say that Nick Herbig should be starting over Alex Highsmith. I want to hear the thoughts of the good people in the chat on that. And I will give you my thoughts. As I wait for your thoughts to come in, I'm going to give you my thoughts. Again, I'm already seeing people say Nick Herbig should be starting over Alex Highsmith. And this is what I say to anybody who's saying that. I can't say that you're wrong. That's your opinion. What I can say is, why do we do this all the time? Why do we continue to do this? Every single time the Steelers gets a player in a position, as soon as the player isn't doing what, here's air quotes, what is perceived by the fan base, they want to replace him immediately. As soon as it's, again, air quotes for those who are not watching, perceived. As soon as it's perceived by the fan base that the starter is not getting the job done, they want to replace him. Instead of acknowledging the depth or acknowledging what a three-headed monster is capable of doing, or acknowledging possibly even a four-headed monster if Jack Sawyer continues to get his reps and get his feet wet. Why do we always want it to be one guy at a time? Think I'm lying? Y'all remember we did the same thing with Najee Harris. Everybody said, oh, Jaylen Warren needs to be the starter, yada, yada, yada. I get it. Jaylen Warren adds a little bit of a spark. But here's what's interesting. And I don't even necessarily think it's Jaylen Warren's fault. But here's what's interesting. Who is the guy that just rushed for 99 yards and 2 touchdowns in this early season? Was it Jaylen Warren or was it his backup? Again, I'm not picking with Jaylen Warren. I'm just saying it goes to show you when everybody's pounding the table, oh, Warren needs to be the starter, and again, it's not his fault. I'm just saying it's funny how things work out like that. Warren being the feature back for the first 3 weeks, hadn't got much going, and now you see Kenny Gainwell, as they call him, Kenny G, and I see people, look, I see people saying this too. Oh, Gainwell needs to be the starter. We're never in agreement as a community. It's hilarious to me, guys. But let me go back up to the chat and see what you guys are saying about that. Let me see what y'all are saying about Alex Highsmith and Herbig. CT Pittman says, no, I would not start Herbig over Highsmith. Jermaine White says Highsmith is trade bait along with Fryermuth. See, there you go. Kenya says, Sim, I couldn't agree more. Yeah. Felicia Ballard says, I'm saying no. Herbig needs to work in rotation. Both Highsmith and Herbig can't stay healthy for 17 games. Good perspective there. Jermaine White again says, it's a business, Sim. You aren't in the business of keeping high payroll. That's true. That's true. But I'm not in the business of trading high. No. I'm always going to say this, guys. This is just my personal opinion. As much as teams want to be stacked at wide receiver, where a lot of teams are looking to have 2 dogs and at least a third guy that can hurt you, Same way how some teams want to have a couple backs that they can hurt you with. A couple teams would love to have that David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs type of situation, right? More than one guy. That's how I feel about pass rushers. I want to be 3 deep with guys that you have to worry about. 3. Not just 2, not just 1. I would love to have a real 3-headed monster where there's really not a lot of drop off. That's a dream for a defensive-minded team. It is a dream and a luxury to have 3 guys that can legit get to the quarterback, legit seal the edge and contain the edge and set the edge. The 3 of them can do that. Round of applause to my man, James Webb, man. I appreciate the Wonder Bread, so we're going to take a break and acknowledge that. Thank you very much. He says, loved watching that run game show signs of life. Thoughts on bringing undue pressure on the team by silly plays in the later stages of the game. Should have been about 27-10. You says undue pressure. Yeah, I kind of talked about this after the game, and I don't know, if you were able to see my post game because I did it late, man, because I was traveling. I said that. What I don't like about, I don't understand why any team does this, but especially with the Steelers, because this is the team we love and watch. I hate when we just go into this prevent, soft zone, let them chew up the clock. I get it. I get the idea. But why not just play the same way you've been playing the entire game? Now your defense is amped. Like, why do we do it? I get it. Listen, I get the theory. Oh, let's let them chew up clock and let them, I don't care what we just gonna keep everything in front of us, because what ends up happening, the games ends up being tighter than it needs to be, number 1. But number 2, plays like what happened with Chuck Clark end up happening. When you switch up and and they end up hitting you deep. And now they didn't burn as much clock as you thought. Now, ironically, on that play, they did kill about 45 seconds, but in theory, I hate when teams do that. Play the same defense that you've been playing the entire game. Just my opinion. But I appreciate that, James. Let's get back to the Herbig thing. Listen, guys, I absolutely do not think that should be the case. Keep the rotation the way it is. Like, why are we so hell-bent on... Here's the thing. Why are we bent on who should start and who shouldn't when the idea is to have a rotation? You understand what I'm saying? If all 3 of those guys are helping to get the job done, and including Jack Sawyer, throw him in the mix, then why are we so... fixated on, this guy needs to start, this guy needs to start. I get it. I love Nick Herbig. And it's funny, guys, we've been talking about, the funny thing is, Kenya will remember this. I remember when Bud, I think Bud was still there. Number 48, as we used to call him. When Highsmith came in, I remember us saying, ooh, he already got a better pass rush plan. More, looks like he got some tools in his toolbox when he put it all together. We felt the same way about Herbig. We didn't necessarily compare him to Watt or Highsmith because both of those guys are in their bag, but we saw it early. We was like, yo, this Herbig dude might be something. And he has continued to impress. He has continued to make plays. So I would agree, definitely want to keep him in rotation. But let's not forget, if you go back and pay attention to what has been happening early in the season before he got hurt, don't act like Alex Highsmith won't out there creating pressure and things of that nature as well. Setting the edge and all of that. Like, Highsmith was playing relatively decent before he got hurt. So it's not like it's just a clear, Herbig and... I don't get it, guys. But listen, y'all have at it. Like I said, I'm not going to, poo-poo on anybody's opinion because I just have my own opinion as well. Hello, baby Steeler. a.k.a. Angie. I said it in reverse, but it's Angie, a.k.a. Baby Steeler. Thank you for the Wonder Bread. Round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I see people saying happy birthday to Ron. So Ron, if it is your birthday, man, happy birthday to you, sir. Sincerely, I definitely hope you have a happy birthday. Hope you've had a great birthday if it was today or if it's upcoming or if it was a day behind. Regardless of when it was, I just hope when it was or when it is, in case it's in the future, I hope you have a happy one. All right, so yeah, I just wanted to say that, man, about Herbig. No, I don't agree with that, guys. I mean, I don't think it matters. Just let's just keep a strong rotation. How about that? How about that? Was there anything else miscellaneous, guys, I wanted to talk about before I get into the game? We got another one. The infamous Tim. Thank you, my good brother. Round of applause for the Wonder Bread. Interesting question. He says, who had a better legacy game? Jalen Samuels versus the Pats or Gainwell versus the Vikings? I'm going to just freestyle this answer. I'm going to go with Jalen Samuels. Reason why? I think all of us, most of us probably knew what Kenneth Gainwell was capable of. You know, Kenneth Gainwell has made a name for himself in the NFL. You know, Kenneth Gainwell was, you know, highly touted as well coming out of college, right? But like I said, Gainwell has made plays in the NFL, and most of us was familiar with him, right? So to me, it's not a surprise that he could have the type of game that he had and also be a threat out of the backfield. Not a surprise to me at all. Jalen Samuels, however, at that year was a surprise. I cannot remember his touchdown count, but I do remember that Jalen Samuels rushed for 144 yards that night. I don't think any of us saw that coming. Absolutely not, especially with the way Jalen Samuels got into the league, being more of a utility type of back, playing multiple positions. Kind of reminds you, I mean, they're different, but kind of like how Connor Haywood played a bunch of positions in college. That was Jalen Samuels coming out of college. NC State, I think, is where he came from, I think. So that to me was the bigger legacy or, hey, I've arrived type of game, only because of where they were in their careers. Like I said, I can expect what Gainwell did because we're more familiar with him. He's made plays in the NFL on other teams. Did not expect that at all from Jalen Samuels. So that would just be my opinion. But I don't think there's any wrong or right answer there. You know what I mean? Good question. Round of applause to CT Pittman, man. Thank you for the Wonder Bread. CT says, not to be a downer, but coordinators aren't scheming for Herbig just yet. Not enough tape on him. And see, that is a valid point as well. And that's the thing, guys. That is the thing. Again, we in Steeler Nation are so quick to sit this guy down and start this guy over that guy. But what CT Pittman is saying is absolutely a fact. You know, Herbig is going to start to draw that type of attention, but here's the reason why he can't. It's because that lead dog is on the other side. So from a defensive standpoint, both Herbig and Alex Highsmith are the Juju Smiths, you know, the Juju Smith-Schusters to the AB, right? That's what they are, because TJ Watt is always going to command the bulk of the attention. So it's beautiful to see that both Herbig and Highsmith can be successful and win. And like I said, Herbig has been effective since he's came into the game, you know, from rookie season on. So I look forward to continuing to see him grow. Absolutely, absolutely. What else do I want to get into, guys, before I kind of, you know, do a little small recap? And then again, you know, I'm going to get the Discord link out there for anybody who wants to join. So let me do it. I definitely see that. Looks like Deron is already in there. So let me grab the link. Hold on, guys, and I'll post it in the chat. And I would highly recommend, guys, since we're rolling with Discord, definitely keep the link. Keep this link. The link is direct, right? It's a direct link into the little lounge area that they call it here in Discord. So therefore, whenever I start a call, you'll have it. But hold on, guys. Hold on. Give me a second. I got to sign into the stream through the browser so I can post the link. We got a decent little crowd in here now. Appreciate that. Here we go. Here's the link to Discord. So definitely jump on in, guys. And when we're ready to take some calls, we shall. But look at that, man. We got more Wonder Bread. Who is it this time? Oh, Baby Steeler once again. Thank you, Miss Angie. Round of applause to you. Appreciate you. Of course, she says, how do you feel about our Steelers? I'm going to get to it in just a second. Also, Baby Steeler, I usually don't give my full opinion until week 6, sometimes 7. I want to see at least 6 games. Last week, I gave an opinion about how I was feeling and how my thoughts were trending after 3 weeks. It has started to settle a little bit after seeing how they performed on Sunday, but I'll talk a little bit about it in a moment. Hey, Odessa is in the building. Again, guys, make sure y'all say hello to our lovely ladies of Steeler Nation. That goes for Odessa, Angie. I think I saw Erica G in here. I think I saw Lisa in here. Y'all know Lanisha is in here. And anybody else I may have missed, I do apologize, but y'all know I'm going to always take time out to give shine to our lovely ladies. Where was I? I was talking about something. I don't remember, man. This is what happens when you go off the cuff, guys. So let's get into a couple other things. Let's just talk about, I'm not going to bore you guys with my whole opinion on the game after rewatch, but I'll just give you the light recap again, man. Listen, this was the first game that I felt like the Steelers, 2 things. They won the line of scrimmage. They were able to win the line of scrimmage. And we did it on both sides of the ball. Of course, when I watched the film, I would be able to see a bigger picture. But this was the first game that you literally could feel that they were winning the line of scrimmage, man. And that's a wonderful thing, because that is where football starts and ends. Hold on again, guys. Round of applause to James Webb. More Wonder Bread. Thank you so much. Good point. He says, with Calvin Austin, thoughts on number 10 needing to step up. If line continues to improve, we have plays open down the field. Yes. I'm going to just take one word out of it. I'm going to say I would like to see him with more opportunity as opposed to needing to step up. I don't think you meant it this way, James. You may have, but the reason why I'm going to say it that way is because I'm not down on Roman Wilson. Again, I watch a lot of us in Steeler Nation kind of trash him, and I'm like, well, have you guys thought about the fact that the Steelers are running a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of it? A lot. Guys, we've seen Donnell Washington be thrown the ball by Aaron Rodgers already in just 4 games, more than we've seen since he's been a Steeler, which would tell you that he's on the field along with Freiermuth. A lot of 12 personnel. Calvin Austin has been doing his job. So Calvin Austin has not been demoted, if you will, to not be on the field with DK Metcalf. Did I say Johnson or Austin? I meant to say Calvin Austin. So if I said Johnson, I feel like I just said Johnson. But Calvin Austin, right? He's been doing his job. So because he's been doing his job, that is the reason, good people, why That's the reason why he's not on the field as far as Roman Wilson. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't want to paint the picture that this guy's not doing anything. I just don't want to paint that picture until we see him with like real snaps. So here's his opportunity. And if we see that he's just not making any plays or he's not getting open, then we can have a conversation. But I don't think my man has had that opportunity yet. So let's stop dismissing him. Again, what I wanted the Steelers to do isn't happening. I was the main one saying, hey, I want to see more 11 personnel. We're not running it as much. Roman Wilson usually comes out in 11. We're running more to 12 than anything else. So there you have it. That's all I got on that, man. Great point. And yeah, James Webb says Calvin Austin has even done well. Yeah, think about that. And not to say that Roman can't, but think about that on that DK Metcalf touchdown. Who was downfield blocking? Calvin Austin. So I don't want you guys to diminish what y'all think Roman Wilson isn't doing and give credit to Calvin Austin, who's actually stepping up and actually showing himself as a number 2. As far as this offense, whether you want to consider DK a 1, and I'm just saying, as far as our offense and our personnel, we got to give Austin some credit for actually stepping up in times, making plays, got a couple touchdowns. Come on, man. Real quick, because we do got some calls. Just my quick recap. Listen, like I said, this was the first game of the year where I felt like both the offense and the defense primarily stayed on track. They stayed on schedule, if you will. The offense was able to get a run game going, which not only helped us to set up other plays, but it also allowed us to stretch out that clock a little bit, possess the football. I did not go and look to see who won the time of possession, but I know we absolutely were able to sustain some drives because we ran the football well. And from what I saw, I started watching the All-22 literally about an hour ago because, again, guys, my week, the early part of my week is crazy. I usually don't get into watching it until late Tuesday night, most of the time Wednesday, Thursday. But from just a few plays that I watched, it's execution. Shout out to the Steelers scheming it up, bringing, what's his name, Spencer Anderson out there as a 6th offensive lineman along with Darnell Washington. So you literally got 7 guys out there. If you haven't seen it, guys, go look at some of the breakdowns of some of the, I would say some of the experts, like your Baldinger and, even Dan Oblowski. Go look at some of the clips that they've shown up before I get my footage out. And the Steelers just took it to them, man. And it was a great thing to see. We were able to run the ball. We ran the zone scheme pretty well. I will say this, Kenyon will be my witness. I love Jaylen Warren, but Kenyon will be my witness, as well as you guys who saw the run plays that I showed to you guys exclusively for the viewers, the channel members. Sometimes Jaylen Warren is missing the cutback or he's missing the crease. And again, I'm not beating him down or anything. I love Jaylen Warren. I love the way he runs. But some of those plays, when you really look at the All-22, you can see times when we didn't execute a block. You can see times where one block was made, it's a big run. You also see times where the back is missing. So what I could say just from rewatching the game before I even looked at the 22, you could see that Gainwell was making the right reads. He had a phenomenal game. Even knowing when that, it's funny, I'm teaching my little 11, 12-year-olds on my son's team. I'm teaching them how to, just tonight, when we were running a play and I'm running back, and we had a gap this big, right through the 3 gap. But because the play is going outside, he's stretching, and I pulled him immediately and said, come here, man. Listen, as a running back, you got to see what's developing. I know the play is supposed to go. I know the quarterback, because we run a little play called ISO on the line, right? We give our running back our quarterback the flexibility to see what he has, and we'll run ISO through whatever hole he sees. And if he feels like it's clogged, he'll run. We make it simple for him, man. You know, on the odd side, we skip one. We just go 3, 5, 7, 9. Then on the even side, 2, 4, 6, 8, right? So he felt like we needed to go outside because of what he saw. But as soon as the ball was hiked, the crease opened up so wide, right there through the 3 gap. I mean, it's an easy 10 yards, and he just kept going outside. So I say that to say those are fundamentals, right? And it's times that I see that Warren has missed a few of those. It happens. And Kenneth Gainwell read his keys very well in that game, man. Knowing when to cut in and get what you can get, even on one of those touchdowns when he cut back inside and fell in. Had he stayed outside, there's nothing there. Ran very well, man. Very well. And I think I wanted my boy to get more touches, man. I think Caleb Johnson, mark my words, Caleb's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. Other than that, guys, I just think we put up a great defensive effort, man. I think both the front end and the back end played well. We didn't really give up too many chunks. We didn't give up a ton of third downs. I mean, again, teams are going to convert on you. Teams are going to move the ball. It's the NFL. But largely, we put together a winning effort on both sides of the ball. And we still, we created some turnovers, the normal turnovers that you see in an NFL game. A couple interceptions, you get a few sacks here and there, but it's not 5 turnovers. So it's good to see us be able to play solid defense, still opportunistic, without having to get these 100 turnovers in a game to win. So I just thought it was a solid effort, man, and I will have more to you guys, for you guys, after I watch the footage. Another thing I'm going to pay attention to when I watch the footage. I didn't know this. Shout outs to Steelers Depot. Peyton Wilson and Patrick Queen are both leading the league in tackles. And I want to say, I think they said Patrick Queen is number 1 with tackles for loss. And I think Peyton Wilson is number 4 so far in 4 games. But they're leading the league in tackles. So as much as I've been getting on Peyton Wilson might be playing better than I expected. But again, I got to give him a huge shout out for that tackle, man. That was key because it allowed more clock to run more time to run off the clock, but just the effort. And like I said on Sunday, I'm going to say it again. As much as I've been getting on him early in the season by not filling his gaps and, playing a little light in the hind pots, as my grandma would say, what an effort. You show me effort like that, I'll find a place for you. Those are the type of players I want. He could have let that go, but he hawked it. And because of that, that was vital and key to helping us win that game. So, beautiful play. But all right, guys, I don't want to bore you guys so much with my commentary, man. We do have 3 fine gentlemen here, man, on the show, and I'm going to start bringing them in. Let me post the link one more time. Anybody else that wants to jump on and have something to say, here it is. It is on Discord. The only downside, guys, is you will need an account to communicate. Now, I'm not sure who was here first, so I will allow you gentlemen to maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll go round robin. I think Daron was in here first. Then after that, I'm not sure. But I'll make sure I get everybody in. But here you go, man. Daron, what you got for us, brother? I don't hear nothing if he talking. Let me see. Look like you still muted. Yeah, I think Daron is muted. So let me grab Mr. Winningham. Let's see if we can hear him. Hello, Mr. Winningham. How you doing tonight?
How you doing?
Doing well, man. Always good to hear from you.
Yeah, I was very pleased on 90% of the game Sunday, we did let them back into it for whatever reason. But I enjoyed seeing us being able to run the ball, the offensive line gaining confidence, along with us utilizing Washington at tight end. I mean, he is so big. If we could ever get him in the middle of the field, that's forcing defensive back, safeties, and linebackers to make a business decision. Peyton Wilson, explosive speed. I mean, he ran him down. It was a good thing he did. My man kind of tripped up a little bit, but I mean, Peyton Wilson got on his horse. You could see the acceleration. So that was good to see. Only thing with on our offense, my man number 54, he has to learn how to get the ball. The ball's coming out low. A couple of times Aaron Rodgers had to reach down low to get the ball on a shotgun.
Oh yeah.
And the next play he went underneath the center, and I don't know, for whatever reason, he's got a little Kendrick Green in him. We got to get that. We got to get that out of him and get those snaps a little bit more crisper. But overall, I was happy to see us look much better, more confident on offense. I wasn't crazy about the beginning play of the game because at first I was about to say, what Broderick Jones doing? But that came from the inside, the interior. And we shouldn't be having so much leakage in that interior on the offensive line. Lastly, you guys were talking about Highsmith. I love the rotation that we have. It keeps those guys healthier at the end of the season, especially with Watt. And lastly, you guys was talking about trade. What about the possible trade of Pat Fryermuth, who's earning a huge salary, and we're not getting any production out of him or Jonnu Smith, in my opinion, right now. I hope everybody have a great weekend. Thank you for giving me this time.
Of course, Mr. Winningham. We always gonna give you time. That is a given. Appreciate the call, of course. Appreciate the insight. And I'll just talk about two things that you said, because I know you always talk about those offensive linemen, and you're right. Leaking, man, in the middle. And what I've noticed just on the rewatch, like I said, when I watch the film, I'll try to piece together whose responsibility was what. Again, guys, let's be honest. We don't know the checks and the calls, but we can kind of, come to a conclusion, kind of looking at what we see. But even without looking at the 22, y'all know who's kind of been a little shaky? Seumalo. Now again, like I said, when I watch the film, I will look and see if it's more him or Frazier. But in a couple games now, I can point to a lot of times when Seumalo was being pushed back. So has the veteran kind of lost his touch a little bit? I don't know. To be continued. I will come back and report on it. But yeah, Seumalo was looking like he's looking like I'll say at second glance, because it was TV film, looking like the weaker link in terms of pass protection. Kenyon said he had 2 pancakes in the last game. So in the run game, yes, but in the pass game is what I'm talking about specifically. So let's keep an eye on that, guys. And I could be wrong. But let's keep an eye on that. Good stuff. The only other thing that you mentioned, man, that I guess we all should probably entertain it. I've seen it. Should you trade or would you trade Fryermuth? That's a very good question, man. Quite a big salary, and you're right. We haven't necessarily seen any real production through 4 games. I don't know, is that scheme related, meaning, plays that are designed for him. Some of it may have been offensive line related early on in the season. Another thing that we saw Sunday, Aaron Rodgers was getting rid of that ball quick. I mean, quick. So maybe some of his hot reads weren't too Fryermuth. I know a lot of us are upset at that. Remember that throw that Aaron Rodgers had? I forget which game that was, but when he was running to his right and heaved it down the field and Fryermuth was unable to come up with it. Some people still got that bad taste in their mouth. But I will say I would give it through up against the trade deadline to see, right? And I don't know if the Steelers are even thinking that way, but I'm willing to give him a few more games to see if he can get in the fold now that it seems like our offense might be trending up as far as being on the right track. But it's a valid point to make, and I can't argue with it. I can't argue with it. Yeah, so there it is. I'm going to go to Infamous Tim, and then I'm going to come back to Daron. I'll come back to Daron. But Infamous Tim, man, what you got for us?
Quickly speaking on Mr. Winaham's previous point,
Mm-hmm.
it looked like Darnell Washington got double the amount of snaps that Pat did last game. And, I like that a lot, but if we're paying him all that salary, I think you should be getting more snaps. And like the biggest problem I had this past 4 weeks is a problem we had all last season, which is we went out and we got 3 number 1 corners who are all press man corners, but we're not playing them on the line of scrimmage rarely, if at all. And it's really annoying to see, especially on 3rd and 4th down. I mean, when I look at the All-22, from my eyes, you guys can go check and see if I'm mistaken, but the first time we pressed Justin Jefferson on the outside was with Brandon Echols. That's just not what I want to see when we still have Jalen Ramsey still in before he got hurt and Darius Slay. I don't want to see Brandon Echols pressed up against Jefferson. That's all I have for you. Thank you, Steelers family.
Man, appreciate the call. Now that's an interesting point. See, this is why I love talking to you guys, man, because it points me in a direction to look for. Because see, as you can see, Tim said he's already saw the 22, and I'm definitely going to look at that as well. That is an interesting point. Now, not taking anything away from Echols, but I'm going to kind of speak on behalf of Infamous Tim here, where I'm sure he agrees because he just said it. I mean, Ramsey, you would think, is the guy, right? He's the guy, the dog of that defense, the personality, his length, big and strong. Now, is Ramsey as twitchy as he once was? Maybe not, but still, that's the matchup you're looking for, right? And you would expect perhaps that might be JPJ when he comes back. Because, before the season, you heard him and Joy Porter Jr. both kind of going like, I'm the dog, no, I'm the dog. I love that competition. But I'm going to agree with Tim on this one. If Echols was the best matchup, why are we doing that? Unless, the Steelers are very cute when they do this. Sometimes they don't like to travel people. So it could have been a situation, I don't know if it was or not, Tim, but it could have been a situation where Ramsey was in the slot, and that's where they want to primary play him, or Ramsey might have been playing safety on that play. I'm not 100% sure. So it could have been something like that. You know what I mean? But absolutely a great point. I do not disagree with you at all. I mean, my money is on, listen, if this is who I'm paying, this is why we brought you here. Let's see that one-on-one, especially with the history that him and Jefferson had from when he was with the Rams, so yeah, great point. I appreciate that one, brother. Daron, we back at you. What you got for us?
I know somebody else just jumped in. Go ahead and get them. Unfortunately, the baby pooped, so I have to change his diaper real quick.
All right, man. Hey, we all been there, so I ain't mad at that. We come back to you in a minute. Zuri Rivers. Look at that. Somebody's name that's actually the same. So that's what's up. Zuri, what you got for us? Hello, Zuri Rivers. We are here. We are live. Hopefully you can hear us. No? Going once, going twice?
Whoa.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
My man, what's up? Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, what's up? Folks want to show love to both teams, went out there and then, early time and did what they had to do. But it's some stuff we need to work on, gotta communicate better with those big plays, man. I'm never satisfied. We got the win, but we gotta do better. But overall, got to take it in this week and it's
Absolutely, man. I appreciate the call. Listen, I'm gonna say this, guys. This is starting to sound and feel familiar now. It's starting to sound and feel very familiar, like it did with Blog Talk. Because you guys would remember if y'all heard it. Zuri was always the one that would call and say, "What up, Unc?" That's number one. Number two, he would always say, first and foremost, I want to show love to both teams. So I'm loving this, man. I'm loving that we got these calls back. It's the bootleg version. It ain't Blog Talk. But at least I could talk to some of my favorite people, man, again. And this is what it's all about. And again, I'm still looking. Hopefully I can find still a better solution. Because again, man, I think it's a hassle when you guys have to sign into an account and an app. I hate that. I'm still trying to find a solution that was similar to Blog Talk. But like I said, man, listening to that greeting, listening to Mr. Winningham, it sounds oh so familiar. So we almost back to what we remember. I will talk for a few more moments. I'll give Daron a little more time and then we'll come back to him. Let me see what y'all got in the chat, man. Anything that you guys got questions on or thoughts and comments from anything that you heard in the calls? How do y'all feel about that Fry Your Move situation as far as trading? Would y'all be okay with that? What would y'all think? And I definitely want to go take a peek at what Tim said, man, because I do wonder, were we in sub in that situation? And if so, it's very possible that Ramsey may have been in the slot. And again, we know that's where he was going to play this year. But also, was it base? And did we have Ramsey, as safety? So, and I'm sure Tim may have already noticed that. So if he puts it in the comments, cool. Wonder Bread, round of applause. James with some more Wonder Bread. We appreciate you. Yeah. Glad you pointed that out. He says DK working in the slot seems to be splashy. I like that. See, again, we are quick. I say we as a Steeler fan base are quick to criticize the coaches when they don't do something that we think they should be. But what we don't do is we don't often give credit when credit is deserved or due. Yes, good adjustment right there by, I would assume, Arthur Smith. And sliding DK inside with that bigger body and just putting more pressure on the defense. Beautiful. Love that adjustment. Love the adjustment by really just saying, all right, man, we're going to go out there with a de facto 7-man offensive line, right? Bring in the extra guy that's eligible, and then we're going to use Donnell Washington with his body type and size, and we just going to run smash mouth, and it worked. That's adjustments. So I got to show love to the offensive staff. But again, I'm going to be cheeky right here. I'm letting y'all know I'm being funny. I'm going to give credit to Tomlin. You know why? Because y'all always telling me that it's Tomlin's fault when the offense does well or they don't. Y'all never give credit to the coordinator for whatever reason. Everything is on Tomlin. So, all right, I'm gonna play y'all's game and give him credit for that offense. But then also the way that we play defense, man, the alignments that we put out there, right? Creating pressure. Got to give credit to both coordinators and the head man on this one. They did an absolutely great job until the fourth quarter when they just went relaxed and they let them kill the, try to burn clock up and made the game closer than it needed to be. But listen, man, they played they coached a phenomenal game in that one. That's just my opinion. You can agree or disagree. Tim has some more Wonder Bread for us, man. Round of applause. And right after this, Daron, I'm about to come right to you. Tim says, with 19 out, if 10 doesn't get more reps, major red flag. I do not disagree with that whatsoever. That is a correct statement, sir. Because I've been the one sitting here campaigning saying, look, man, I think Roman Wilson going to be all right. Give him time. But you are correct. That could be the tell. If he does not get more snaps, because again, even if we're in 12, that means he should be opposite DK Metcalf. So if we're seeing somebody like Skoranek, no disrespect to Skoranek, or any other receiver on the staff or practice squad, and or if he does something that Summer Still and Nation is asking for, if they trade in for a guy, yeah, that might be a little red flag. That might be that flag waving there. Because again, guys, my thought process and how I approach this thing is fluid. I don't just get stuck in one thought. I'm always open and willing to be wrong in scenarios as far as my opinion. So I think Roman Wilson still has something to offer, but what Tim just said is absolutely correct. Red flag, will be flying across the screen if that happens. So I could not agree with you more there. All right, guys, let's go ahead and grab Daron, man, and take this last call of the evening. Daron, what you got for us, brother?
What's up, man? One, did you hear that Dante Johnson was in the building for do a physical? Oh, so
really?
Everybody keeps forgetting about Jack. Hey, we got 4 people who can get to the quarterback. He played very well when he had to come in when TJ got hurt for a little bit. But there's a lot of things that I want to see. Like I said, it's only 4 games. I'm giving to that number 6 before I pass my judgment on if we are mediocre or actually pretty good. That's all I got today, man.
All right, man. Always appreciate you calling. And again, guys, it's dope hearing Daron be a father right on the call, man. He had to go away and take care of the baby, man. So we remember that, y'all have a fairly new baby. So it's always good to hear that you and family and baby are doing well, man. So keep being a great father there, brother. Hey, he just dropped some news on me. Now, let me get to the chat, Daron, because I already know it's probably popping. Hey, guys, let me ask y'all. Deontay Johnson passes a physical. What y'all think? Y'all want to know what I think? I think a Deontay Johnson reunion kind of reminds me of, not that the reunion happened, but the situation kind of reminds me of Le'Veon Bell. Let me explain what I mean. Deontay Johnson, since leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers, hasn't played great. Neither did Le'Veon Bell. I always said, and I was trying not to be biased, but I always said it was something about the way that offensive line had chemistry with Le'Veon Bell and the way he ran and stopped and start. And I was like, I don't know if that's going to happen anywhere else. And it didn't. I feel a little similar about Deontay Johnson. Not exactly the same scenario, but I'm just saying, is it possible Deontay Johnson, with his route running ability and his feet work, as Shaq would say, feet work, with DK Metcalf on the other side? Now, I know some of y'all, I'm not even going to look at the chat yet. I'm going to come to the donation in a minute, then I'll look at the chat. I know some of y'all are probably like, no, man, no way, no way. I'm just talking about from a pure football standpoint. I understand he didn't have the best reputation when he left and da-da-da-da-da-da, but if all of that can be worked out as far as personality and attitude and willingness to want to do, I'm just talking about from what the boy can do as a football player. You telling me you wouldn't take, if he can still run routes, which I think he still can because he still works out with the route guard. I've seen the images. If Deontay Johnson's feet work, If his footwork is still what it was and he could create separation, yes, I absolutely would take a shot at spending pretty much no money to see him and DK Metcalf on the same offense. You just taking a shot. It's literally not cost. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. Number one. Number two, Calvin Austin is coming back. He's coming back. So if Deontay Johnson becomes a headache, bye-bye. I'm just saying. I ain't mad at it, bro. Now, he said Dante Johnson, but I think he meant Deontay. So let's clarify that if Daron is in the chat. I think he meant Deontay. I don't know a Dante Johnson. Who is Dante? Is Dante Johnson somebody? Might be. I could be wrong here. But I think he meant Deontay. Somebody correct me or correct him. But I'm just saying, if he meant Deontay Johnson, then yeah. Okay, somebody's saying Dante. Okay, so what does Dante Johnson do? Is he a receiver? Is Dante Johnson a receiver? So y'all let me sit here and talk all this time and I'm wrong? I love y'all, man. I love us. So while I wait for y'all to clear that up in the comments, let's grab Will I Am, man. Thank you, Will I Am, for the dono, as well as CT Pittman. So thank both of you brothers for the Wonder Bread. Let's read these comments. Oh, real quick. See, some of y'all are like me. So y'all are saying Dante or Deontay. I don't know. All I know is Daron said Dante Johnson. So I was not thinking Deontay. I mean, I wasn't thinking Dante Jackson, the corner. He said Dante Johnson. So I'm hoping that what Daron was saying, what he means is Deontay. Yes, he says wide receiver. So Daron, are you talking about Deontay Johnson that played for the Steelers, or is there a receiver named Dante Johnson? But Will I Am says, we are eating in the red zone this year. Thoughts on that? And I'm seeing trade talks for Olave. Thoughts, peace, and blessings. Man, Will I Am, my thoughts on that red zone, again, I don't want it to be missed because, you know, some people feel like the Steelers ain't playing the brand of ball they want. That is, I love it. An immediate change that we've seen, guys, in those two aspects. Starting faster, scoring faster in the game, particularly first quarter, first half, in some situations, first drive, and our red zone efficiency. That has done a complete 180. Do not get blinded by the game where we got scored on a lot against the Jets, and the game where we didn't do much against Seattle, and the game, you know, and against the Patriots, however y'all feel about that. Look at those two metrics. Scoring faster and more efficient. We cannot miss that. Those are huge and significant. Hey, man, if they traded for Olave, I would love that. I'm just going to say it. I like that dude. I've been liking that cat since he came out of college. I ain't mad at that because I think you get him for, it ain't going to cost you much. I think the Steelers are in a prime position if they want to trade for anybody like that because they got so many draft picks. It ain't going to cost them much. So you wouldn't hear me complain if they traded, for Olave. And the reason why Olave makes sense and why people are talking about that is because of the Saints record. That's why. But yeah. Steeler Card says, I don't see any reports about Deontay Johnson. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going off of what that man told us, man. CT Pittman says, I can hear Tomlin saying, never say never, but never. Yeah. So, okay, so Daron is talking about Deontay. Okay. So some people saying they're not seeing any reports on it. So, hey, listen, I'm going to stick to what I said. I'm cool with it happening. Would not be mad if that happened because, again, it ain't going to cost you nothing. And if he start cutting up, holler at your boy. Peace, deuces. Because here comes Calvin right back in the fold. Now, we talking about the Olave. Now you got my interest. Now, that piques my interest a little bit because that could be a longer-term solution as well. Like that kid a lot. But all right, guys, before we go, I told y'all that I had an office visit, and I think I actually called him into the office Sunday, but I got to call him in the office again. Jalen Ramsey. Come on in here, man. Listen, Mr. Ramsey, I talked to you on Sunday, but I couldn't help but to call you back in here. You know how sometimes, man, you have a discussion and you talk about something and you go home and think about it and your thoughts go even deeper? That's why I'm at tonight. Sir, I cannot believe what you... it's just like I said on Sunday. As I'm driving to upstate New York, looking over at the game, listening to the game, asking my wife what happened, looking back at the road. And I seen you do the little hurt hamstring into the end zone. I was like, oh, Lord, did he pull something? Then he hit the gritty on him. I said, oh, he trolling. And lo and behold, you end up with a hamstring injury that they're reporting could miss several weeks. We've been hearing this phrase since we all been kids. You play with fire, you get burned. Karma is a B. Karma is a beep. What, bruh? Talking about the dunce cap. You know what? That ought to be a segment, man. Y'all know what I've been forgetting, guys? The big hat moment. I've been forgetting the big hat moment. I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to bring that back because we got a couple big hat moments. I've been forgetting it. But I might have to have a dunce cap moment as well. That, bruh, you talking about the dunce or the donkey of the day. Today's donkey of the day. I need Charlamagne to come in here and hook me up, dog. Charlamagne, do a segment on the donkey of the day for Jalen Ramsey. Have mercy. Have mercy. But anyway, man, let's get back to it, guys. I'll read a couple comments and then we out of here, man. We already been talking for an hour and 8 minutes. Yeah, Benton deserves a big hat moment. You're absolutely correct, Rajan. Still a card says at least we got JPJ and Trice coming back. Y'all want me to be honest? Y'all want me to be all the way funky with you? I don't know where Trice. I'm just saying. Don't make me say it. I don't know where Trice gonna fit. Does he take Pierre's spot in dime? James Pierre almost came up with an interception too. I saw you. I saw you, Pierre. And you know, I've been a little critical about you over the years. I was high on you early and then I fell out of favor. But I saw you. I saw you almost get that thing. But other than that, I don't know where Trice is playing. He ain't getting Echols off the field. Yeah, he might fit Kenyon. I'm just saying, I don't know who he takes off the field. That's all. I'm just trying to figure it out. Y'all know we love Trice. You know, we've talked about Trice for a long time, man. Big guy. If he can stay healthy, I think Corey Trice could be a real contributor. I just think it's, as they say, Tomlin says, get back on the moving train. That's going to be a little tough for him, I think, right now, because other guys are playing pretty well. So it's hard to sit those guys down. Yeah, so there you go, Kenyon. That's why I said Pierre. Maybe he just comes right in and takes Pierre's spot. So if he could do that, then yeah. Welcome back, sir. CT Pittman, man, I'm telling you, I got so much Wonder Bread here. I'm eating lunch for a week, man. Round of applause to CT Pittman. Thank you, brother. Yeah, Frymouth ought to be called in the office. He said you got to call Frymouth in the office for that blocked kick. Because what was that? Yeah, man, Pat Frymouth. And you know what? I think that's part of the reason that's also inspiring people to say that, you know, he's up for trade. But yeah, man, crazy. But guys, man, listen, I don't have nothing else. I'm gonna get out of here, man. Listen, the Steelers, guys, who would have thunk it? They go into this bye at 3-1. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. 3-1. And what's crazy is Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are not looking great in these first 4 weeks. Joe Burrow out for 3 months. Cincinnati not looking great. Cleveland not looking great. And what a mess they got over there. I mean, listen, it's early, so I'm not going to say the Steelers are in the driver's seat. We got a lot of football to play, and we got some really good football teams to play. So I'm not going to get so happy about this 3-1. I just will say this. Steelers needed to go, they needed to go into this bye 3-1 or 4-0 would have been cool because it gets tough from here. We're going to find out what we are. I mean, you got a lot of teams perking up, man. You got the Chargers, the Colts. Listen, I don't care what their record is. We got the Ravens twice. Cincinnati don't scare you as much without Joe Burrow, but I'm just saying, we got some football that's coming up here soon, but the Steelers are in good shape right now, man. Let's see how the rest of this thing goes. Let these guys get rested up, and we can come back with as much of full strength that we can. All right, but outside of that, man, prayers up to Tyreek Hill, man. Tyreek Hill, I don't know exactly what happened as far as what the diagnosis was. I don't know if it was a break. I think I saw a report saying it was dislocation and he may have some torn ligaments. I think he already had surgery because I saw him post, picture of him in the hospital bed or what have you. But I don't know exactly what it was. But, man, prayers to that brother because oh, man. And that man earned my respect. How he handled that. Went off the field smiling, bro. Smiling and clapping and waving. And they even, social media, the internet, they gonna find you. I saw a post that somebody happened to be behind the ambulance and they recording him, he and there on the phone smiling, keeping his spirits up. Hats off to you, brother. Because I know the boy was in some pain, man. Coming off that field. So he earned my respect, man, just how he handled that whole thing. Okay, torn ACL and dislocated knee. Eesh. Okay, so hopefully my man can come back early, and he'll recover and be able to continue his career. Yeah, they said today on NFL it was an ACL. I saw the doctor say it could be career ending. Yikes. Well, I pray to the Lord, man, that Kenya said he tore his ACL, MCL, PCL, and this. All right, hold on. Moment of silence, bro. Oof. Prayers up for that brother, man. Prayers up to that brother, man. But all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here, man. Love y'all to death, man. Listen, if y'all love me, all I need you to do is hit the like button. I mean, that's easy. Easy peasy. Then you subscribe. Then turn on your notifications. My call to action to you good people. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of you all for tuning in. My channel members, I got that all 22 footage coming to you guys. Matter of fact, before I go, channel members, if y'all still here, send me an email. SimFBallCritic@gmail.com. What y'all want me to show? I'm always just choosing what to show y'all. What would y'all like to see? What would you like me to focus on? And I think I'm going to put a post on the channel as well. What would you like me to focus on for the All 22? And I will bring that to you. If you guys respond back to me soon enough, I will get that out to you tomorrow. If not, we'll wait till Thursday. But what would y'all like to see? All right, guys, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. And that's SimFBallCritic@gmail.com. SimFBallCritic is spelled the same way it is on this channel. All right. Peace again.